festivals. Again, a very interesting experiment, like many other festivals at this time, and we are very happy that we were able to find so many partners worldwide. Another quite new project, or a quite new, absolutely new project that I would like to announce here is the Festival University. This is a program that actually starts already today. It's a 3 weeks program, 1 week before the festival itself, and 1 week afterwards, where we invited 100 people from more than 40 countries all over the world to spend with Ars Electronica, with JKU, the big university here in Linz, and expert mentors from all over the world and various disciplines, to spend with them together 3 weeks to explore and develop strategies for transformation and change. So it's not so much about what do we have to change, but actually how can we initiate change? How can we drive change? And there will be a very interesting final presentation then 1 week after the festival, and this will be also part of our online programs. But let's continue, or really start, so to say, with the program overview, because this is what it's mainly about today. And I would like to ask Martin Honzig, the head of our festival team here in front of the camera, to present us actually the big opening walk on Tuesday. Please, Martin.
Yeah, thank you, Gerfried. Welcome out there. Welcome, dear guests, dear potential visitors, online or on site. It's an honor to present here our Linz garden and the activities that we have in mind and planned. So we are starting on the Tuesday of the week with, as Gerfried mentioned, with an online tour through our city, the city where we are actually coming from and where we moved our core activities into this wonderful garden in the campus of the Kepler University. But back to the city. We are starting with the Cyberarts exhibition. It is the exhibition where we present annually every year, where we have been presenting the winners of the Ars Electronica. It's always taking place in the OK im Upper Austrian Kulturquartier, and every year we are very honored to collaborate with such a wonderful partner that is also coining our activities, the festival's activities in the city. That is also part of this transformation a festival is able to do with an entire city and their citizens. After the Cyberarts exhibition, we are moving further to the main square, to the Art University, also an long-time partner. This year it's the second edition of the new rector, and they started already last year with a tremendous amount of interesting, inspiring projects from the students. Almost all the departments are involved, and we heard before in the German version that it is about 100 participating students making program for the Art University and at the end for Ars Electronica. We thank you very much. The title of this is Loops of Wisdom. There would be a lot more to say, but we are limited on time. There is another partner, a little smaller but very delicate, representing much more the free scene, our art and culture scene in the city. It's the Salzamt. It's a small place, actually a hybrid between exhibition and a living place for artists. And there we welcome Simon Lehner, Flavia Mazzanti, Michaela Putz as artists and as participating program providers for the Ars Electronica Festival. This is a co-production among Salzamt, the Bildraum Vienna and the Ars Electronica. And then we are actually jumping over the Danube, or let's say we're crossing the bridge to end this circle at our museum, the Ars Electronica Center. For sure, we invested a lot of time in this summer to prepare the Ars Electronica Center with new exhibitions, new program points, and such as There Is No Planet B. This homage on the title of a book is actually the title also for exhibition that we are currently producing. We are dedicating an entire floor with a focus on energy and actually the very sad and complex situation with the tremendous shifts taking place out there. Energy is actually the starting point, and we are establishing there highly didactic the topics of what is climate, what is energy in general. We are more or less giving a focus on the very complex situations the entire society on this planet in relation to our tremendously shifting nature is facing. And we have wonderful and hope-giving proactive cultural positions and artistic positions, all coming from this year's Ars Electronica, such as Tiger Brain or The Farm, etc., etc. For sure, there will be a main focus also in programming our deep space, the place where we are, from where we are broadcasting here. Deep space in the festival is similar to an organ in a cathedral. It is like actually a very complex instrument where we invite artists to play with it. And this year we will welcome Maki Namikabe, our long-term, high-quality piano partner, as well as Davide Quaiola and many more to come and to be presented here in Deep Space. Finally, there is another very important new exhibition part, or let's say new topic, enriching us here in the museum. And this is the anniversary of the museum itself, and the little fact that in the moment where we decided to create a museum, we also created our own agency. It is the 25th anniversary of our Ars Electronica Future Lab, and we will find them and meet them in many, many different aggregate states of programs. And they will also do an exhibition focusing on their legacy, but also on actually the cultural order Future Lab has, and the vision Future Lab has into the future. But Horst will tell us more about that later on. I think that was the one part and the part with the guests, and I may now give the mic to Crystal Bauer. Or not?
Well, you just can continue because we don't have our guests here. So if you would continue with the Wednesday,
excuse me,
which is the part about cyber arts, loops of wisdom, Planet B. Well, that's what you actually.
This is actually what I tried to
but
combine, and I think we made a little bit of time now.
There's so much time pressure. It's Crystal Bauer.
And now it's Crystal Bauer. Look. Something's right what I say.
Coming already. So sorry. Behind me, you already see the garden of the Johannes Kepler University, more a map at this point. But once you are here, it's going to be a garden. And we heard already from Martin about the wonderful exhibition, the Cyber Arts exhibition, as well as the exhibitions at the Kunstuniversität in Linz. And we have another one to announce, and it's called Digital and Life. It is this year's theme exhibition, and if you have been here in 2019 or before, you might remember the beautiful exhibitions in the bunker in Post City. And we try to reach this scale again under those very specific and special circumstances. It is an exhibition that is presented at the campus of the Johannes Kepler University in the Learning Center and in the Mensa building. And it discusses, it questions how the digital space and our lives are already so closely connected, and whether it is actually even possible to separate them anymore. We will be presenting projects coming out of an open call between the Linz Institute of Technology at the Johannes Kepler University and Ars Electronica project, especially developed for the festival between scientists from the university and invited artists, as well as projects awarded within major European programs that Ars Electronica is involved in, such as the AI Lab and EMAP, as well as, of course, winners of the StartStay Prize. And We will, for example, look into the stars guided by AI children, or dig deep into this topic of oceans and transformation through educative workshops and a huge installation, as well as think about how we can create an ocean through the work of Kasia Molga, one of our residents, or enjoy the robotic sounds from Moritz Simon Geist's installation called Vibration. So all of those projects have in common that they take a closer look into all those different facets and relationships of connections and interchanges of our life and the digital one. What's not to miss is, of course, the festival in the festival. This colorful, lively program called Create Your World. It is the playground. It is more important than ever. We invite the youngsters, the students, to be a part there, to present their projects that have been awarded in the Prix Ars Electronica. They will find each other there, try to build trust again, make plans for the future, and especially discuss present as well as future scenarios, develop utopias, and think about how they want their planet to look like. We, of course, also have the pre-award ceremony of the U19 World category. If you wander through the Johannes Kepler University, you will surely end up also in the lovely park. There you hear auditory scenes, the sound park. You can lean back, relax, and travel to distant places such as Teheran, or also to the glaciers in Antarctica. And you will hear soundscape from those distant places, taking you at least on an imaginary journey. And a very dear project, it's called Symphony of Absence. It represents all those wonderful partners around the world, those gardens that are independently doing their programs. And we created an installation in that building. Actually, the whole building is dedicated to those absent partners that at the same time, together with us, are organizing their programs. Windows into the world where you can get some highlights and sneak peeks of their programs there. Now I hand over again. Thank you.
And the next one to present is Veronika Liebel, continuing with our daily program. Please, Veronika.
Thank you. Yes, I'm continuing with the daily program as usual, and as you might also know from previous Ars Electronicas, we have a highlight day each day during the 5 days of the festival, and we are kicking off the first day of Ars Electronica this year with the Education Day and a whole series of really exciting conferences revolving around the questions of what learning and teaching should actually look like in the 21st century. The Johannes Kepler University here in Linz, the Angewandte in Vienna, and the Danube University in Krems are starting the Education Day with the Symposium Universitas. And they ask actually how digital technologies are changing and should change teaching and teaching systems. What skills, for example, will need to be taught in the future, and how performance and scientific output can be measured also in alternative ways. And how can transdisciplinarity can not only be promoted but actually be lived in teaching systems. These are exactly the questions revolving around the 2-day Symposium Universitas. Also, on the Education Day, Doris Schmiedauer will invite to a panel discussion asking why women are still really significantly underrepresented when it comes to developing and also establishing technology. As part of the initiative Digitalisierung chancengerecht, she invites experts such as Ingrid Brodnik, Christiane Spiel, Karina Zetmeier, Martina Mara and Marianne Karepova, and they will all discuss what really are the causes for this digital divide and what measures need to be really finally taken in order to overcome this divide once and for all. If you want to be there for live, you have the possibility again on the Education Day on Wednesday, September 8th from 3:30 to 5:30 in the newly opened Circus of Knowledge at the Kepler's Gardens in Linz. if you can't come to Linz, no worries at all. We will live stream, of course, all the conference programs of this specific day, and you can enjoy all these programs online. Of course, also our international education conference, together with our partners stemming from European projects and dealing with STEAM education for most, and of course also cross-disciplinary collaboration at European universities. We are collaborating here, for example, with Trinity College Dublin, Birmingham City University, the University of Arts in London, Aalto University, the University of Amsterdam, and the Technische University in Dresden is also part of this consortium, which is funded by the Erasmus program of the European Union. Also on the Education Day, we will get back to some regional partners. We are staging together with the Pädagogische Hochschule Oberösterreich and the Arbeiterkammer Oberösterreich here a symposium and actually demand together for an even more active role of education and the whole education system in view of the all-time high when it comes to conspiracy theories and fake news. Together in this conference with high-level experts, we are actually addressing the question of how this educational system can help also to promote social thinking again and actions and strengthen a basic humanitarian attitude. And because you can only attend one program at a time, yes, we do know this, there are so many education strengths and education focus points also during the 5 days of the festival, not only on the Education Day itself. Among others, also the science talk Pulse in the OK, where the education researcher Fares Kayali and software developer and also edutech expert Elisabeth Rosemann will actually take a look at the digital education of tomorrow. Back to Wednesday, however, and really what better way to close this Education Day with an absolute highlight, with the opening of Ars Electronica 2021 and also the opening of Circus of Knowledge. We are very much looking forward to the President of Austria and to Naked Lunch frontman Oliver Welter and exceptionalist pianist Clara Frühstück and her new interpretation of Schubert's Winterreise, visualized by Corey Olan. On Thursday of the festival, so we are now on September 9th, we'll continue with one of the absolute core themes of Ars Electronica and the question of what objectives innovation must meet in the 21st century. We've all been aware of the fact for many, many years now that economic added value is not sufficient at all, and innovation really must do justice also to social and ecological sustainability. And exactly this way of innovating is what we demand for also in our annual StartStay. STARTS is an initiative from the European Commission. It stands for Science, Technology and the Arts, and Ars Electronica has played a very, I would say, big role in this initiative since the very, very beginning. This year's core topics of the StartStays deal with our data, with sustainable production methods, and also the impact of the digital economy on our society. In a way, inspired also by this year's Grand Prize for Artistic Exploration, Oceans in Transformation, we will be discussing how artists actually use investigative data analysis, also data visualization and artistic interpretation of data to break down really complex global challenges. And thus they can also act as mediators in a way to make this data more tangible and also understandable. Bring out data which is usually hidden for us, and try to support also alternative approaches to decision making for policy and administration. The morning session will feature the prize winners, John Palmisano and Anne-Sophie Rönskök. And that will be followed by a series of really exciting panels with, for example, Tactical Tech, Julie Freeman, Mariana Lanari, or Obvious Collective. On the afternoon of the StartStay, we will focus much more on sustainable production methods, such as also seen in fashion industry, and we will show how also artists, fashion designers, and architects can really push the boundaries of manufacturing. Together with industry partners on the one side, but also the civil society, they develop scenarios together for circular economy as well as for sustainable and regional oriented production chains. But the StartStay, yes, it's not only a conference, it is a whole exhibition in the Kepler's Gardens here, as well as online. So as many other projects this year as well, you can experience the outcomes of this year's Starts Prize, as well as some selected winners of the last years, really in an interactive exhibition also online. And innovation is also, the common theme, I would say, for the StartStay and the Future Lab Day. And for this, I hand over to Horst Pförtner.
Oops. Thank you very much. Yes, the Future Lab's 25 years old. And we've now taken this anniversary as an opportunity to invite you to take a closer look to the contents behind the Future Lab, to the idea of its philosophical and mental DNA, if you want to say so. And under the title Alchemists of the Future, we are doing this in 3 focal points. First focus is our in-house exhibition here at the Ars Electronica Center, which is a journey through the lab, not focusing at all about the history of the laboratory, focusing on a kaleidoscopic look of our future, or into our future, the next 25 years. Is the focus of that journeys. Existing current works in the exhibition will be on show, and 7 completely new installations offer that on-site and online experience in the hybrid space. In addition to the exhibition in the building, the Future Lab is again present in other locations of the Ars Electronica Festival, Kepler's Garden, of course, with a series of workshops, performances, presentations, lectures, which actually leads to the second focus, the Future Lab Day on the 9th of September. This is where we plan to offer all our activities on-site and online in parallel throughout the entire day. We will work on experimental infrastructures like helmet cameras from our project, the Ghost Dive and Gather Mode conferences, and what else, to try out a new quality of meeting for both areas, for online and for the on-site experience. Starting at 10, in this morning session on the Future Lab Day, we will have our third focal point. We will present the book, The Alchemists of the Future, the first 25 years and beyond, along project highlights and statements of members and important contributors throughout those 25 years. We try to give an insight to the background and the behind the scenes, so to say, of the Future Lab. The focus of this morning session is, again experimental. It's a fishbowl discussion with the audience, with former members of the Future Lab, with experts from diverse fields, dedicated to the question of the future of action spaces for our global society, in the view of major challenges that shape our present and the future in parallel to the digital transformation. In the afternoon, I already mentioned a lot of workshops and lectures and journeys and presentations throughout here at the Ars Electronica Center. And at night, the end of the FutureLab Day, there will be night performance, a full sequence of performances starting at 7 in the evening. Again, online and on-site visitors would have the chance to meet each other during those concert evenings, which are actually happening here in the deep space of the Ars Electronica. And it's ranging from a piano concerto to electronic music, from accordion noise to AI-generated compositions, real-time visualizations and sonifications, most of them visualized here in the deep space. All of them have one in common, like at least one member of the performance formation is member of the FutureLab as well. Especially for the online community, now I'd like to point out one participative project that is going to be presented here as well. It's the experts of the future. Please talk to your kids about their expectations concerning our future. Record that and send it to us. We want to hear from your experts of the future. The performers are a huge list of really outstanding names. Makina Mekava, Rubin Kodeli, Elliot Galton-Ross, Micha Elias, Bichel Kastner, Coriolan, Denise Hirtenfelder, Barbara Habringer, and so many others, and members of the FutureLab, of course, as well. Oh, by the way, it will start at 7 at night and last about midnight, Middle European time. Thanks.
Of course, the FutureLab doesn't make short and small programs, and in particular, the night programs are very popular there. So let's go to Friday. Friday is, of course, the major day for the award ceremony of the Ars Electronica and the concert night, but it starts already throughout the day with really a highlight of the program. The thematical conference for this year's festival is being organized and curated by the Branch magazine. A really wonderful and exciting collaboration collective of journalists, researchers, designers, architects, artists, activists that are focusing and putting all their effort in researching, documenting, and raising discussion about sustainability of our digital infrastructure. They are usually publishing digital magazines, online magazines, but for their work and their aims and goals, they got this year the special prize for digital humanity, a special award that is contributed to Ars Electronica by the Foreign Ministry of Austria, the Ministry for Foreign Affairs, which is in particular interested in focusing and also awarding and singling out interesting projects for global and international collaborations, cultural collaborations. So the people from Branch magazine reached out to their community and brought a wonderful variety of specialists and experts to the symposium in Linz on Friday. Definitely something you shouldn't miss. The two other highlights are almost, one could say, traditional highlights of each festival. In the evening hours, there is the award ceremony for the Ars Electronica, where we will have the official handover of the Golden Nikas to the winners and also present their work. And immediately after the award ceremony, we are going into the big concert night of Ars Electronica. This is, again, a highlight with the Bruckner Orchestra Linz. This year it is a new way of encounter with the famous 9th Symphony of Anton Bruckner. Together with the orchestra, there's also the Company of Music, a wonderful choir led by Johannes Himmelsberger. They will come in with music from Giacinto Scelsi and in particular with Lux Eterna by Ligeti, Church Ligeti. And it's, I think, just knowing the names and and the pieces of music behind it, I think already offers an idea of this wonderful space of music that is being created. And actually this is the main issue of the concert night. It's not a concert where you sit in front of the orchestra and listening to the orchestra. The orchestra is playing on one side, but then all the music is transmitted into the wonderful environment of the park in the meadows of the Johannes Kepler campus of our festival gardens. And then Andres Bossa, the very famous sound artist from Switzerland, is acting as the sound conductor, using multi-channel loudspeaker systems to move the sounds throughout the park. The audiences are moving as well, and it's really a absolutely unique way to experience these outer worldly dimensions of music, like the Ninth Symphony of Bruckner or Lux Aeterna by Ligeti. After the concert part with the orchestra, there will be further performances, so the concert night is going on until also late night. And I think this is the major points from Friday. And now, please, Martin, back on stage here to present us the program of Saturday.
Yes, to the Saturday. For those who think that was quite a lot so far, and now it's time for a weekend. Yes, it is time for a weekend. It is that we increase and intense the program on Saturday. And I continue with a hybrid conference and a conference format that comes from the program that we have called AI Lab. AI Lab is actually a program that we funded 2018. We are collaborating with a lot of scientific and cultural partners from entire Europe. It's a foster program from the European Union, and it is actually about the relationship between the arts and the science. Besides that, we have a theme-related exhibition. Besides that, we have an exhibition focusing on the prize winners of the several prizes. We also have an exhibition involved and embedded into our theme exhibition that is focusing on the context of AI and the programs coming out of that. But now I'd like to tell you a little bit more about the conference. We are planning the conference on Saturday in the Zirkus des Wissens, which is, by the way, the latest new opened architectural goodie on the campus of the JKU. And we are planning this conference in 5 panels. The first panel is about media literacy, a communication problem, with Kyriaki Goni, Meredith Broussard, Martina Mara, Kanta Dial, and more. The second is focusing on AI and music, which is one of the core topics, research topics coming from our Future Lab, and we will meet also there AI researcher Ali Nikrang, Davide Quaiola, and others. Panel number 3 is focusing on AI and civil society, with Carolyn Sinders, Kilian Kleinschmidt, Glacia Kwong, and Simon Weckert. And the 4th panel is focusing on AI and feudalism, with Frédéric Kalt-Öner, Marc Köckelberg, Sophie Zhang, Renata Avila. Finally, the 5th and last panel is focusing on AI and digital humanism, with Martin Rauch-Bauer, Steven Raspa, Agnieszka Wikowska, and more. And now back to the campus, back to the garden Linz, the Kepler's garden, and it is actually the Saturday that is coined by the term Market Day. It is the most public day because it's Saturday. In the last years, we welcomed a lot of people coming from the region that are creating a wonderful mashup together with the experts and artists that we have invited. I'd like to introduce you now, and we're very proud to host this year, the first time, a fair that is focusing on the attitude of helping. Helpers in the last 1.5 years in the pandemic, and there were several coming actually from all different areas of our society, are coming together, are doing a summit, they are also doing a conference, but they are showing actually nothing else as their attitude, their gift to the society. We think that this and is fitting extremely good to the entire and to the meta topic of the festival, because helping is an attitude that should not die. We will need this whether we are ending in the digital or somewhere else. And it is also a core question what role technology can play in this context. How can we utilize technology to link us better, to make a help more efficient, and so on. Another very important program point, and also somehow ironically but direct related to the core topic, the digital deal, is our every year's Bauernmarkt, the summit of the organic farmers who are selling via the Saturday their organic goods, and who are diving, so to speak, the atmosphere of the campus, of the Ars Electronica, the digital festival, into life quality, into the smell of bread and many things more. Finally, it is the SoundCloud, the little begin of Ars Electronica, that is still part of the Saturday's program. It is actually the highlight of the Saturday. And this year, the SoundCloud's name is Panterei. The director will be the famous Robert Dornhelm, Christoph Engel, and Roman Cariolu. C'est ça from my side. And I think it's time for the Sunday. Crystal.
Thank you, Martin. Yes, the final day of the festival, but not less exciting than what you've already heard before. We continue with another forum, actually the pre-forum, which is of course related to the Cyberx exhibition in the OK. And we can introduce you here to many of the prize winners that will be here in Linz, as well as representatives of the jury. We have interesting discussions within every one of those categories: AI and live art, animation, and digital sound and music. It will take place at Johannes Kepler University in the Circus of Knowledge, as well as, of course, streamed to our online festival platform. We move on to another exciting program, the Art Thinking Forum. This is a collaboration with one of our long-term partners, Hakodo, in Japan. And it is especially about thinking and methods of how art can contribute to innovation and change in all various areas of our society. And this year's topics are especially art as a compass, art as a catalyst, and art as a form of journalism. And they are represented by three very important protagonists: Dominic Chen, Karen Palmer, and Territorial Agency. And last but not least, we have a cornerstone of the Ars Electronica Festival. It is the Animation Festival. There you see an annual best-of, a selection of the animated films curated by Jürgen Hagler that have, to a large part, been submitted to the Prix Ars Electronica, but also beyond. And this program is in collaboration with the FH Hagenberg, and they will host a full day stream and conferences from their own studios, just for you and the online audience. So with this, thanks very much, and I hand over to Gerfried.
Wonderful, thank you very much. And now we are doing the discussion thing again. So thanks to everybody who was just listening to our streaming. If you are interested in asking questions, discuss with us, please change to the Zoom conference. And yes, the cameraman always wants me to look there, but sometimes I have to look in a different direction to see if Christopher is fine with the things going on. So some details are necessary. Sorry for this. So Zoom conference it is. Please change. And we are waiting for you to be back online, and thanks to everybody else. Please join us with one of the many programs that are coming up at Ars Electronica.